This is The Lavender Phantom, Book 1 of the Club Lavender Duet by Lainey Delaroque. The final part 10, chapters 46 to 50. For previous chapters or to start from the beginning, navigate to the playlist titled The Lavender Phantom on this channel. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel to help me produce more free audiobook stories for you. Happy listening! Chapter 46. 3 days ago, Purple Tsuki sent a message to Melanie. Not tomorrow, it said. The next day she got the same. Together with confirmation, Damien and everyone else were ready to play. Yesterday, however, we received our one-day warning. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., just opposite Roosevelt Park. There will be one bodyguard waiting for Thomas. There's one teacher. I've arranged for a new student to attend. Leah Meehan, 13. Tomorrow has turned into today. It's 10 in the morning, and I'm sitting in Hana's white Toyota Altis on a side street, which gives me a perfect vantage point. The plan is on. I can see both Lavender's main entrance and the fire door on the side. The black cardigan Hana lent me matches the black jeggings bought earlier and the gray printed t-shirt. Its slogan, "Who's Your Mommy?" is hidden behind the opalescent buttons of the cardigan. Hana swore there were no plain t-shirts in the stores they visited, but Melanie's conspiratorial smile told me another story. I embraced the look down to the black sneakers and baseball cap. I'm like a grim reaper in Hana's clean white car. We swapped cars, deciding my orange Honda was too conspicuous and could be known to Valerie and Brad. I open up the new app on my phone, the one that connects me to all the microphones, and I tune in to Melanie's. She's infiltrated the group of kids in the tutoring group without issue, and is now listening to a lesson about U.S. presidents. When I asked Matthias why Thomas is allowed to study, he said it was the arrangement Damien made years ago. He gives up his freedom for his son to have a semi-normal childhood. All children that he studies with are jester progeny, of course. I doubt he has any true friends. The sun, bright and persistent outside, makes me sweat in the car. I turn the AC on and sit back. I start listening to Hanako's mic. The audio connects. I hear the roar of the engine and Hana's distant voice over it.
"Thank you for helping Sophie out,"
she says.
"No problem,"
Matthias replies, his voice light and airy. He doesn't sound stressed, which makes me more comfortable about introducing them to each other.
"Who's Sophie?"
Hana chuckles.
"Adrienne,"
she says, correcting herself.
"Ah, fake names,"
he replies.
"Very popular all around."
"Indeed."
The conversation dies down. I swap back to Melanie and the monotone voice of the teacher. On the passenger seat, there's a Twix and a cup of takeout coffee. I have an unhealthy late breakfast as I listen. When I finish, the kids are saying goodbye. There's rustling. Then Melanie whispers.
"Double golden rainbow?"
she says, echoing the words Matthias told me to use to get the nightingale's attention.
"What?"
Thomas's voice betrays his confusion.
"Come with me, and you and he can paint another wall together."
There's silence. Then I hear Melanie's shoes on a stone floor, followed by someone else's. I message Hanako and Matthias. "They're coming. Be ready." I swap to their audio stream just in time to hear an unknown man speak.
"You can't park here?"
He barks.
"I'm waiting for my daughter,"
Hana says. The voice is unlike her own, authoritative, insistent, painted in the color of annoyance.
"I don't know her,"
he replies.
"Who are you to know my daughter?"
I hear soft rustling, then a car door easing open. Matthias is on the move.
"This study group is only for children of—"
But he can't finish, because Matthias has jabbed one of his tranquilizing cocktails into his neck.
"Nice,"
Hana says.
"He's now dragging the guard to one side."
She explains to me.
"Children are starting to come out, so I assume we'll see Melanie and Thomas soon."
I type up a message. Your boy is almost with us. Stand by. I swap to Melanie's mic and hear swaying static. She's running.
When we get out, you'll see an orange car. We just get in and drive off.
She pants.
I have a bodyguard.
A boy pants back. Good, they're definitely together.
I hope you don't anymore.
Did you kill him?
He sounds appalled.
No.
Melanie also sounds appalled, and I envy the innocence of youth. There's more running and gasping. Then I hear a car door slamming.
Welcome, I will be your taxi driver for the day.
Matthias says in a cute voice. He must have taken the driver's seat. I flick to his mic as I can barely hear anything through Melanie's ragged breathing.
Is my dad okay?
Thomas says instead of a greeting.
He will be fine now that you're safe.
Matthias replies.
Drive.
Melanie says breathlessly, and I can hear her smile. The car starts, and everyone claps. We have the nightingale. I let out a tiny squeal and message Damien. Thomas is with us. Go. I tune into his microphone, excited to hear his deep voice in my ear.
Good job, Brigand Wraith,
He says, and I smile victoriously. I want to reply, but our one-way communication prevents him from hearing me. We opted to have no earpieces. The only ones we could find were too bulky and too conspicuous. I want to ask him how it feels to be outside after so long, but I know there will be a better time for questions later. An hour ago, Tanya helped distract Valerie and Brad while Damien slipped out of Lavender unnoticed. He was standing by in the hospital where Chad is recovering, the goon whose head he kicked in, waiting for my cue. Now it's his time to shine.
Hello, sorry to bother you. I'm visiting a friend. Can I confirm I have the right room number? I think I might have written it down wrong.
He says in a sweet, customer service voice. I envy how easy it is for him to charm people.
Don't worry, dear,
A lady says. She sounds in her 50s and like she has a collection of floral cardigans.
What's your friend's name?
Chad Smith.
He replies.
Yes, that's correct. Visiting hours have begun, so you can go up and see him. Can you just sign in here?
Thank you very much.
He chirps back.
Can you let me know if anyone else is visiting him now? I don't want to cause a commotion inside. I always can come later.
That's no issue at all, dear. He had a visitor 3 days ago, but no one since then.
Ah, that was Brad, wasn't it? I'm so happy he could make it. I was getting worried he forgot our poor old Chad.
I smile. It's a trap. But will she fall for it?
Brad, oh yes, he seems to have visited. You're all best friends, I assume.
She is ever so helpful, caught in the web of an easy charmer.
The best of friends.
Damien reassures her.
Thanks for your help. Hope you have a delightful lunch break.
So Brad and Chad are indeed as close as they appear. Good. We have to lure Brad back to the hospital, away from Lavender, away from me. Damien walks some more, then speaks into the mic.
Our Chad Smith here is either sleeping or in a coma. Found his phone. Going to send a message that should get Brad moving. Keep watch.
I train my eyes on Lavender's door. The minutes pass. I hear strange plastic rustling. What is Damien doing?
Sent.
Damien says, his voice barely audible over a symphony of medical machine beeping. I type a message to ask him if everything is all right when the sounds subside and he's walking again.
I'm heading to the parking lot to watch for Brad's car. Tell me when he's on his way.
A movement in front of me catches my eye. Brad is leaving Lavender in a hurry, his stride that of an experienced hunter. I grit my teeth, contempt seeping from my every pore as he climbs into a black SUV and drives away. He's on the move. I type to Damien and switch to Hannah's microphone. I send her a monkey emoji, our previously chosen signal. She starts talking 2 seconds after.
We are on the way to the shelter. Thomas phoned Valerie from a burner phone to tell her he's been kidnapped. She freaked out, apparently. We threw the phone away, so we should be good to go. Has she come out?
Not yet, I type. I turn Tanya's mic on while I stare at the door, expecting Valerie to come out any second now.
I can guarantee you don't want to be here when the chaos unfolds.
Tanya says.
I've never pried in your relationship with Damien, but is he worth it?
Ben's voice is level. I can hear his bracelets jangling as he is undoubtedly polishing something. I still my breathing and press my earphones deeper into my ears.
I'm not doing this for Damien.
Tanya says, her voice taking on a new edge.
I'm doing this for me and the girls. You may be happy to be cleaning cups under anyone's management, but try working like us.
I frown. I'm not sure this approach is for the best.
You've always been on the sidelines, but soon that won't be an option. You'll be caught for their crimes and tried and sentenced like one of the jesters.
Ben doesn't say anything. What if he raises the alarm? What if he stops Valerie? My doubts evaporate when I see her come out of the fire door. She looks annoyed, and in as much of a hurry as Brad was. It feels good to have them rushing about on our whim for a change.
Can all staff report to the lounge for a briefing?
Ben says into the sound system that connects all rooms in Lavender. There wouldn't be many staff at all at this time of day. Cleaners, cooks, a few birds maybe.
Thank you,
Tanya says to Ben.
I'll go check that there's no one left behind.
I twist back to get my black leather bag of tools.
Don't make me regret siding with you,
Ben says to her.
You will get only half an hour to do what you want. After that, I won't hold the staff any longer. I'm going back to being neutral.
Of course,
Tanya replies. This is my cue. I tuck my phone and headphones in the bag and step onto the street. The car beeps shut as I hurry to Lavender's fire door. I find it slightly ajar. Either Valerie left it open by mistake, or Tanya has come by to let me in. Either way, it saves me valuable time. When I enter, the familiar corridor is empty and uncomfortably quiet. Taking the steps to upstairs 2 at a time, I reach the office in seconds and pull my lockpicks out. Chapter 47. Lockpicking my way into the office this time is easier. My fingers work fast, practiced and steady, devoid of fear. It's always easier to steal something from an empty place when imminent danger is not a concern. It reminds me of the times I did this in LA under Chief's protection and with the help of his underlings, who served as my lookouts. When the lock clicks open, I get up, take the time to replace my lockpicks in their case, and walk in like it's my office. The interior hasn't changed, but there is a level of clutter that was absent before. Papers are spread about the desk, and the plant in the corner looks sad, its leaves droopy and yellowing. There are 2 cups of coffee on one side of the desk. I assume Valerie and Brad were enjoying a break when we disturbed them. A smile blossoms on my lips. Serves them right. I riffle through the papers but find nothing of note, only order and delivery notes for food items and drinks and a few doodles. I look at the computer screen. I can see Ben talking to the sparse gathering of staff in the lounge. Tanya is nowhere to be seen, but I'm not concerned. She could be in any of the areas without surveillance. Happy with all the feeds, I click on the settings menu and turn off all the cameras in Lavender. I don't want the police to know about me or the others involved in this plan. I shut down the computer next, plunging the already quiet room into total silence. Perfect for breaking into a safe. I start taking items from my bag and placing them on the floor next to me like I'm a scrub nurse preparing for an operation. A fluffy brush, fine powder, tape, a stethoscope, gloves, my phone on speaker mode. When everything I need is laid out on the floor, I look at both safes. I'm unlikely to open the digital one quickly, so I slide my hands in the gloves, put the stethoscope in my ears, and start working the tumbler of the old safe the way I did on that wretched day they almost caught me. My heart thunders in my chest now, full of adrenaline and the blooming flower of hope. I still my breath, listening in. Click. I exhale and repeat. A deep breath in. A click. A deep breath out. Slow, controlled, like doing yoga. As I hear the third click, my phone buzzes with a new message. I give it a sideways glance. It's from Damien. I let go of the stethoscope for a moment. Brad has left the hospital. I glance at the wall clock. 11:45. If he's headed back here, I have about 15 minutes. With a fresh sense of urgency and the sound of blood rushing through my skull, I continue my work on the old tumbler. It clicks again, and I let out a sigh. I'm making progress. My fingers tremble with the effort. The tendons in my hand ache with a familiar warning. I have a few more minutes allowed of this repetitive action. After that, my manual dexterity will leave me until I've rested. I hear another click amid my worries. 5 clicks were as far as I got last time. How many more until I unlock the safe? I take a full cycle of breath to steady myself. The lock clicks for the 6th time, and the door of the safe grows heavy in my weakened grip. I pull the handle, and a cloud of stale air puffs out. I wave my hand in front of my nose and peer into the opening. Stashed inside, there are 3 rows of money and a simple leather-bound notebook at the bottom. I take the notebook and flip the pages feverishly, eager to find out if the entire thing has been a fool's errand, or if I finally hold the key to Lavender's destruction in my hands. A few papers fall out, but I'm drawn to the writing inside. It's a ledger of payments taken and given, but as I delve into the tightly scribbled lines, I see there are no full names there. There are marquises, dukes, and ladies, but nothing that can point to an actual person. I let out a small cry of desperation. It's not hard evidence, but it is evidence. It's something that can prove that shady deals are being committed. The other piece of the puzzle, maybe a separate ledger, is probably hidden in the second safe. It would make sense for them to store both ledgers close to each other, needing to update them together when a new member joins. I hope they're sensible criminals. I pick up the documents that fell out, and my monkey brain makes me stop and peer into one of them. It's a deed. No, it's the deed to my building. It is a finalized copy that transfers the ownership to me, Sophie Taylor. It's dated 6 years ago. I frown, confused. What is it doing here? Has Lavender been pocketing my money? My phone rings, making me jump. It's a hidden number. I look at the time. I probably have only 10 minutes left until Brad pops up in front of me. I fold the deed in 4 and push it into the back pocket of my jeggings. I pick up the call, tossing the ledger to one side and grabbing the powder case. I unscrew the cap with one hand. Yes?
Get out of there now.
It's a soft female voice, and I barely hear it. What? Why? I have taken the brush, ready to start, but my fingers freeze mid-air. What's going on?
Chad is dead. We've lost track of Valerie. Brad is coming for you. Drop what you're doing and run. I will call the police.
Shit. How much time do I have? I'm opening the second safe. I try to keep my voice even and steady, but my heart has picked up pace and my ankles shake, unable to support my squat. I ease myself to my knees.
You don't have time. Leave everything. We've done enough.
The girl sounds distressed, and while I don't recognize the voice, I know it's my employer, or at least one of them. I dip the brush into the powder and start dusting the keypad. I can't leave it. I'm so close. My gut twists, screaming to my senses that I'm making a bad call.
Leave. Please leave. Run.
The girl cries at the other end of the line, her words turning from a whisper into a whine. I'm almost done. Just as I'm about to pull the tape and look at the results, I suddenly lose balance, my forehead crashing into the front of the safe. Blinded by the sudden attack, confused and dizzy, I put a hand to my head. My fingers are wet. The initial shock wears out, replaced by a painful throbbing all over my face. I focus on the keypad, straight on my eye level. It's cracked, the center of the fracture covered in dark red. I bring my hand in front of my eyes. Bloody fingers. My phone is discarded on the floor.
Who's done?
I hear behind me. I've turned my back to the wall. Rookie mistake. Not listening to the warning on the phone was not a mistake. It was pure stupidity on my part. Brad has punished me satisfactorily for both. Not giving me much time to answer his question, he laughs out loud and descends upon me. I clench my whole body when I hear his voice, but when he grabs a fistful of my hair and yanks me toward him, my neck cracks. The throbbing in my skull makes my eyesight blurry.
I should have known you were planning something.
Brad sneers into my face.
I thought I scared you enough, but here we are.
I want to shout something back to taunt him, but my mouth refuses to form words. I stare blankly at the ceiling. He drags me from behind the desk. I kick my legs, my fingers etched into his wrist. When we reach the opposite corner of the room, he hurls me toward the wall. I crash into the plant, the rim of the pot digging into my side, right where my ribs have almost healed. I let out a little whine I can't contain. The pain is somewhere far away, and in a strange moment of clarity, I wonder if I will die today. I have a head injury, and I'm in a tiny room with a psychotic man who has threatened me repeatedly. Will he make good on his promises? I can't die yet. I haven't told Melanie how well she did. Securing Thomas. How proud I am of her. I try to push against the fuzziness in my mind. If only I can make it to the bag, I can pull out my switchblade and defend myself. But which way do I have to go? The room spins. Brad pulls my legs, shifting the ground underneath me, making me dizzier. I kick frantically. 1 or 2 kicks connect. I hear him swear. As we tumble around in the corner, I think about the girl's words. Chad's dead? Valerie is missing? Is she dead too? We never set out to kill anyone. Brad flips me on my stomach and tugs at the waistband of my jeggings. I regret not wearing jeans with a belt when they slide down my legs easily. I get on my elbows and squirm forward like a pathetic worm. Brad's hand digs into the back of my right thigh. I kick back, freeing myself and earning a new quality of pain as a deep scratch blossoms where his nails have fought for purchase. My phone is suddenly within reach. I grab it like my life depends on it. Maybe it does. The call is disconnected and the biometric lock is on. I smear blood on the slick black screen, unable to unlock it. It does not recognize my face. As I struggle with the phone, Brad gets on top of me. Somewhere far away, I hear him unbuckle his belt, so I will die debased and degraded. I try to kick myself free, to twist into a more favorable position, but his hips press me down like weights. I feel like I'm drowning, going under the surface of the world, the image of the office swimming in my eyes. Brad pushes my head down to the floor, crushing my skull to carve a shape in the gray carpet. My breaths are the shallow gasps of a dying animal. I close my eyes, feeling a trickle of blood travel down my face. It's a gentle feeling, detached from the pain I'm feeling everywhere else. He rips away my panties, and icy air slithers against my naked skin. A lump lodges in my throat. What a stupid way to die. And what a monumental failure. I clench every muscle in my body, ready to welcome the pain of Brad's next attack. But it doesn't come. His weight lifts off abruptly, allowing me to breathe. I pant, sprawled on the floor, unable to make sense of my surroundings. Sounds happen around me. Something breaks to 1,000 pieces. Something falls next to me like a sandbag released for a hot air balloon to fly. Someone screams. I pull my clothes back up in place and scramble to sit. My head feels like it's been split open. I blink when I see 2 people fighting, tumbling around the room like clothes inside a washing machine. I wipe my hand on my pants and unlock my phone. The plan is still in motion. The girl has probably called the police by now. I text Tanya a quick, "Okay." 2 letters that signify the last step of what we have to do. I look up when the glint of something catches my eye. I squint. Focusing takes immense effort. Brad is fighting Damien. Damien has him in a chokehold, holding him against the floor. But Brad has a knife. He swings it about madly, trying to sink it into Damien's side. I crawl as quickly as my dizzy brain allows me to, and kick Brad's shoulder hard enough to make his arm flop still for a second next to his twisting body. He grunts and contorts to meet my gaze. I use my knees to steady his forearm and push the blade far away from him.
Are you okay?
Damien shouts. I want to respond, but a sway starts up in my torso. When Brad pulls his arm free from under my legs, he sends me falling sideways. My unstable balance crumbles, and the world turns black. As my head falls, I see Damien in all his primal glory, eyes blazing, knuckles covered in blood, shirt ripped, hair tousled. I smile. I have played my part. I can rest now. Chapter 48. In a world devoid of color, an angel with a broken wing carries me out of that wretched room. It wears Damien's face. Tanya walks behind him, chanting something, her face solemn. We push through the darkness to emerge in a place where the stars are close and blinding, in blue, red, and muted purple. A murder of crows flees with us. A siren sings an enticing song somewhere far away. The angel puts me in a black coffin and shuts the lid. I inhale. It smells like home. Hands extend to steal the air from my lungs. I twist, looking for a comfortable place to still. A wisp of hope swirls around me like a firefly and whispers my name like a prayer. Sophie. 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 The wisp sounds like Melanie. I gasp. I try to speak, but a muzzle on my face muffles my efforts. My coffin moves, taking me away from my angel. Am I descending to hell? Chapter 49. My hands tremble slightly as I read today's newspaper, kindly delivered to me by one of the nurses. One arrested over prostitution scandal in Club Lavender. Chicago police responded to an anonymous tip that a club in the heart of the city has been promoting prostitution by masquerading as a fancy tea-room hotel. One member of the staff was arrested on the scene. He attacked a police officer and was shot in the leg. As a member of a notorious Chicago gang, he is now in protective custody undergoing investigation. All other staff appeared to have fled the club shortly before police arrival. 2 ledgers were found in the building, detailing the extensive dealings of the club and bringing to light that several local celebrities, businessmen, and politicians were frequent customers at the venue. Lavender owner Damian Gray is wanted for pimping and pandering. He was last seen 2 months ago on the premises and was wearing a black suit and tie. He is believed to be armed and dangerous and is associated with a gang. Do not engage on site, but call the police. If anyone has any information about the people working for or assisting Damian Gray, please get in touch with the Chicago police. I put the newspaper down when the door opens. I've had an uneventful day so far, the most exciting thing being drafting and sending my resignation email to Jamie. I did well with quitting. Now that I have the deed to my building, I can start collecting rent. I only need to solve the legal stuff around it. It's Matthias again. For the past couple of days, he's been my most frequent visitor, able to see me outside visiting hours thanks to old friends in the hospital. They have diagnosed me with a mild concussion. After assessing all my injuries, the doctors looked at me like I was the lucky survivor of a plane crash. I haven't provided them with a coherent explanation of the myriad of injuries I have, from the cuts and bruises to the cracked ribs and old broken bones, so they spoke to Matthias in hushed tones, eventually raising no issues. They put me on bed rest for the foreseeable future.
I went to your apartment with Hannah and grabbed you some toiletries in your mail. I think you have a few bills here,
he says, and hands me a stack of letters held together with a rubber band. Thanks. Can you tell me what happened with Chad and Valerie? I ask, as I flick absent-mindedly through promotional brochures and bill statements. Everyone else has refused to tell me, saying they didn't know. My gut is telling me I'm being lied to.
I don't know, the police aren't even looking into it. Penelope must be so mad,
he says, and sits down in the chair next to my bed. It looks small for his tall body. From my half-lifted hospital bed, I can see all the lines on his face, the wrinkles that give his expression a memory of a frown. He seems relaxed today. I know you know something, I say.
So you've read the news.
Matthias mutters.
Not the best outcome, I guess, but at least we weakened the jesters.
Yeah. They haven't painted a great picture of Damien. It feels surreal to see his name as the owner of that place. My brain knows it, of course, but there is a dissonance with its recent purpose. Its whole idea doesn't fit Valerie and her goons. They were like cuckoo chicks in Lavender, deposited by Penelope on a whim.
No one will want to go there now.
Matthias continues.
Who knows when we'll get it back from the police? They would have to capture Damien first.
Why are they looking for him and not Penelope?
Because she's as smart as she's wicked. Why do you think she was keeping him close? They were using all his assets for free and without a legal trail. If anything went wrong, they just had to disappear. And that's what they did. They signed all the ledgers with Earl Grey. Damien is the legal owner of Lavender, so what has transpired inside is now his responsibility.
Why didn't you tell me? I thought I was helping, I say, my voice small and weak.
I have to be honest. I think he wanted to save Thomas no matter what. He's not angry. He's calm and happy in a strange way. He doesn't blame you for anything.
Matthias wears a tiny smile. I smile back, but no joy reaches my eyes. He's not a prisoner anymore, but he's a fugitive now. Not much of an improvement. I mutter. I'm sorry.
Don't be,
he says.
You fought to free someone else's child. Your plan got Brad arrested. With Valerie missing, Penelope will be destabilized. We were never aiming for an ideal outcome.
He stands up and leans forward to give me a hug. I pat him on the back, the stretch reminding me of the 1,000 different pains my body is working through.
Get some rest. Tanya will come see you later. She has a surprise for you.
I wave him goodbye. Glued stars sparkle on the ceiling of my private hospital room. Soft toys decorate the windowsill. I'm in the pediatric ward. Through chats with my nurse, I learned Matthias used to be a pediatric anesthesiologist. How is someone like that now treating fugitives and criminals? I curl up in a ball and for a few hours allow myself to feel like a child, free to nap in peace and think about nothing at all. Excited voices wake me, and I jolt upright when I find the room full of people. Melanie, holding an elaborate bouquet in the corner, is beaming. Tanya is unloading a bag of clothes at the edge of my bed, her face distant and her aura like a soft rain cloud in the middle of the room. Thomas leans on a wall next to the door, as if looking for a good reason to be here, unsure whether leaving might be a better course of action. I wish Hannah was with them too, but I know she's at work. For her, saving lives is not a culmination of an action plot. It's everyday life. Are those for me? I say, as I extend my arms to take the flowers from Melanie.
Back off.
She turns sideways.
These are for me from Thomas.
I look at him and he glues his eyes to the floor. Really? Do you guys still give flowers these days? Melanie shakes her head and smiles.
I like it.
I also sent her some memes.
Thomas adds. I burst out laughing, making myself dizzy. As I steady myself, I see Tanya has laid out a cute white sweater dress on my covers, together with a pair of leather-look thigh-high socks. Please tell me at least this is for me. I wink. Melanie goes to Thomas, whispers something in his ear, and drags him out of the room. I squint with suspicion. What a young conspirator. She is brewing plans left, right, and center now.
They are for you,
Tanya says.
We got permission from Matthias and your doctor here for you to leave for the night. Damien wants to thank you for saving Thomas.
Her voice is odd, calm, without the underlying panic that always tinted it in Lavender. She sounds both tired and relieved. I feel a bit of pride for that. Did everything go okay after the police came to Lavender? I ask. I had no chance to ask before because we always had the children around. I don't want to bring up the past now that they both seem to be recovering so well.
It was fine. The girls have nowhere to go now, though. I paid them a month's salary, but that won't last.
She mutters.
After Damien took you out and Matthias drove you to the hospital, I ushered everyone out before the police came.
You saved them all.
I don't know if I saved them or doomed them to a more dangerous life. But you were right. I was just taking it. I should have done something before things got so out of hand.
She sits down at the edge of my bed. The last time we were so close was when she was stripping me naked on the stage of that wretched party. I'm sorry it didn't turn out the best, I say, because I'm genuinely sorry. Tanya pats my shoulder.
A car will pick you up tonight. You just need to go down to the main entrance at 7.
That's exciting. I pick up the dress. It's tightly knitted chunky yarn, soft like cotton candy. I hug it to my chest, embracing its coziness. Where are we going?
I don't know, but I'm sure it will be nice,
she says as she gets up to leave.
When he's not actively destroying gangs or being destroyed by them, Damien can be really sweet.
Did you used to date him? I blurt out.
He was married for a long time, you know.
That doesn't really stop people from dating.
True,
she nods.
But he's not a cheater, and his relationship wasn't open. So no, I haven't been with him. And I don't want to.
Not even a bit? What am I saying? I want to slap myself.
Get some self-confidence, will you? What does it matter what I want? The important thing is Damien likes you.
She shrugs.
And you like him too, so go do what you have to do. We're not kids anymore.
So you don't resent me because he picked me at the party?
I would have resented him if he had picked me. He picked you because you had the highest chance of surviving the entire ordeal with your mind intact. Hearing all these stupid questions you're asking me, I guess he was right.
I chuckle. It is so blunt, but so like Tanya. Thank you, Firebird, I say. She waves goodbye and leaves, the fresh scent of her citrus perfume still in the air. Alone with my ensemble for the night, I allow my heart to flutter. Excited like a schoolgirl, I climb out of the bed and try the dress on. It's warm without making me sweat, hugging me like a loved one. The socks reach the tops of my thighs, making my legs look shapely and shiny. Overall, it's a fashionable look. My sneakers and some simple makeup will complement it well. I take the dress off and head for the shower, my mind inspired with the endless possibilities for tonight. Damien is a fugitive, so we don't have a lot of options for a date. If it's even a date. I giggle. He hasn't included any underwear. Chapter 50. I don't know what I expected. A limousine? A flashy BMW? Maybe a sparkly Mercedes? When Matthias pulls up in his silver Toyota Prius, I wonder when I allowed myself to get so shallow. It's a means of transportation meant to get me from one place to another, not the point of my outing, and it's good for the environment. As I get in, I smile weakly at Matthias, who beams behind the wheel.
Are you ready?
I chuckle, trying to hide my disappointment Damien isn't the one behind the wheel. Driving is sexy, but I guess having your face plastered across all mass media in Chicago really puts a crimp in all sexy daily activities. We join the evening traffic, cameras and streetlights in our faces. Can I ask you something? I say to Matthias. He lowers the volume of the radio. You're into Damien, right?
I respect him, yes.
He says, drawing the words out, sounding unsure. No, not like that. You're into him. As a man. You're attracted to him. It has been a tiny voice in my head ever since the three of us were in the sub-basement. Now that he is literally driving me to meet Damien, I wonder how it makes him feel. I don't want my unknown relationship to make someone miserable. Matthias is silent for a long time. I think he's decided not to answer when he finally speaks.
How did you know?
Back in the sub-basement bedroom, your eyes were glued on him.
He has so many scars,
he says in a soft voice.
It's sad someone so young has gone through so much pain and suffering.
Do you hate me for pursuing him? I ask. dreading the answer. What will I do if he says yes? Will I come out of the car and tell Damien there can't be anything between us because his best friend is in love with him?
I don't.
Matthias replies, his answer easy and quick. He squeezes my knee.
I don't think he swings that way. Also, he knows. He just pretends he doesn't. I really need to sort my feelings out.
Oh, I say for lack of anything else. I peer out the window. We are circling the familiar streets of central Chicago. This is the way to Lavender, I remark dumbly.
Surprise,
Matthias says, as he parks a block away from the very place we worked so hard to destroy. I don't understand, I say, when the engine dies.
He will explain.
Matthias points to a dark corner outside, hiding the silhouette of a man. I really hope that's Damien and not a random axe murderer, I mutter as I exit the car and slam the door behind me. Is he hiding at a crime scene? Under everyone's noses? Matthias revs the engine, and 2 seconds later, my pumpkin carriage is gone. I step forward, steady on my feet in my black sneakers but unsure about my direction. I hug myself as a gust of wind penetrates my knitted dress and glides across my naked skin underneath.
I want to show you something.
It is Damien, tall, dark, and handsome. I sigh with relief. His hair is nicely styled, parted on one side, giving him the look of a distinguished gentleman. His long overcoat accentuates his broad shoulders and reveals he has chosen a black suit and white dress shirt for tonight. It's a yummy sight, and I flash him a smile when I cross the street and join him in the darkness. Is it inside? I'm cold, I say. The air smells crisp, like early spring. The winter left behind in the ruins of Lavender's misdemeanors. Something wet lands on my cheek.
Sorry, I forgot to send you a coat.
He outstretches his arms, opening his overcoat. I accept his hug, nestling in to share the warmth.
Look up.
I lift my chin to meet his eyes when I see he himself is gazing into the sky. Another piece of coldness melts on my face. I blink when I realize the change in weather. It is snowing. Isn't it too late for snow? Damien hugs me tighter.
Some people say heaven meets the earth when it snows. That every snowflake is a lesson to be learned, gradually falling upon humanity.
I didn't know you were religious.
I'm not. But I like metaphors.
He whispers into my hair.
I want to show you the lavender I built. I want you to see the place I poured my heart into before they corrupted it.
I'm sorry I destroyed it, I mutter. I didn't know.
Nothing to be sorry about. It was perverted a long time ago. But there is one room that wasn't yet finished when the takeover happened. It's as pure as my intentions.
I chuckle when I notice the wicked grin that follows his words. I'm sure there's an ulterior motive there somewhere. He smooths my hair with one of his big palms. You and Penelope? I start to say, then trail off, unsure if it's okay to ask.
Yes?
His nudge is reassuring. You are still married, right? Why?
Because she wouldn't sign the divorce papers. She knows she would lose Thomas, too.
Didn't look like she particularly wanted him. Once his voice changes, what will she do with him?
She's not going to have to worry about that,
Damien says, his expression much warmer than mine.
You saved him, so it doesn't matter.
Do you still love her? A part of me craves to hear the answer. Another is afraid that it won't be what I want to hear.
I haven't loved her for a very long time,
he says in a soft voice. I lean closer to hear him. The wisps of steam coming from his mouth swirl in front of my face.
Let's get you inside before I have to show things to an ice statue.
I groan, but follow him, my hand in his. I'm not sure what this whole thing means, if there is an implied us somewhere, or if he wants to make sure I know the allegations against him are untrue. Either way, his words have piqued my interest, so we sneak inside Lavender through the back door, silent like the falling snow. The only sign the building is off limits is the police tape around it. Once inside, It is the same somber place I have grown to love to hate. Pushing a panel on the side of the staircase, Damien reveals the secret passage. Is he taking me straight to his bedroom? As we step down into the pitch black, Damien pulls out a torchlight and illuminates our descent. Our steps are quiet on the lush carpet of the stairs. We go down to the door that reminds me of the entrance to a submarine. He pushes the round handle in the combination of moves I still vaguely remember. A few breaths later, we are back in the cozy space where we had our first leaps of trust toward each other. A lot has happened since then. I've seen this, I say.
I remember.
He replies with a smile.
But it's another room I want to show you.
We go straight to a door at the other end of the corridor, passing the bedroom and the makeshift infirmary. Little particles of dust reflect in the torchlight. Damien stops and swings one door open, presenting me with a dark, empty room. I have definitely put my head in here before, seeing nothing besides pitch black. What is really inside?
I created this to be a rigger's paradise,
he announces. I strain my eyes more. When he flips a switch on the wall and illuminates the entire space, I gasp. It's a massive hall, with crisscrossing bamboo poles lining half the ceiling. There's a stack of bamboo resting in one corner. The other half of the room houses a massive bed with 4 metal bedposts, creating the illusion of a cage. There are so many suspension points, I whisper, my eyes glinting with awe.
I thought you would like it.
He winks.
It's still unfinished. There's a lot of flooring still to put in, and as you can see, the walls are empty.
The bed seems ready enough, I say, eyes narrowing.
I had to entertain myself while the police were raiding upstairs, so I built it,
he says with a laugh. You were here all along? It's an unsettling thought, though I see why.
Where else would I be? Lavender is my home, for better or worse.
His tone isn't bitter, just laced with sadness. I think you built a beautiful home. I remember my first impression of the tea room upstairs. It's a shame they took it from you.
Poor decisions lead to awful consequences,
he murmurs.
But it doesn't matter because you gave it back to me.
You can't use it, though, I say, my expression souring.
There's a lot of it the police don't know about. I wouldn't feel guilty if I were you. Only a few people know the extent of my little kingdom.
He moves toward me to stroke my hair gently.
I was hoping we could christen this room.
His hand slides to the back of my neck, sending a smoldering shiver down my spine. I would love that. I turn to face him. He kisses me sweetly, his lips caressing mine like the feathery touch of flower petals. I melt in his arms, letting him navigate me to the end of the bed. There's no danger around, except for being discovered trespassing, or being discovered with a wanted man. But I put those aside. The breath that escapes me when my back hits the sheets is one of longing, not fear. It's a moan that starts at the depths of my soul.
The Lavender Phantom. He looks at the woman in his arms and sighs. It's a sigh of relief, of budding love, of trust and hope. It's the first sigh in a while that doesn't include his usual menu of painful feelings. In this one moment, in the warm, messy bed, he feels no resentment, no fear, no regret. His son is safe. His friends, because they are not just his underlings, they are his true friends, are safe. He's made new acquaintances, something he thought would be impossible in the realm of his tiny kingdom, the sub-basement of Lavender. He knows this is temporary, and he knows there's much more to do. His wife is still out there. She will be angry now, vengeful. She will retaliate. But he doesn't think of that right now. He revels in the fact he is no longer a solitary presence, no longer an apparition without dreams, dwelling between these walls. The Lavender Phantom closes his eyes and falls asleep, his nose buried in the woman's hair. She smells sweet, like orange and cocoa butter. He is not alone anymore because he has the brigand wraith in his arms.
This was the final part of The Lavender Phantom, Book 1 of the Club Lavender Duet by Lainey Delaroque. Author's note: thank you for listening to the end of this book. I hope you enjoyed it. Originally, the book has a chapter 51, but as this chapter fully describes what happens between Sophie and Damien on the bed, I can't put it up here. If you would like to listen to all the fun that was had between them, follow the link in the description, and you will be able to listen to the full, unabridged chapter. Sophie and Damien's story continues in the second book of the duet, The Brigand Children. To continue listening, please navigate to the next video. All parts of the second audiobook are available in the playlist, The Brigand Children, on this YouTube channel. Thanks again for listening to this story. Like and comment to help get this book in front of more readers, and subscribe to the channel to avoid missing out. See you soon.